G'day you little rippers, it's your mate Donga Darcy here. Now I'd like to talk to you about Australia Day, 26th of January, and possibly changing the date. Oh, that's a bit bloody controversial. So let's just cut the crap, shall we? What's that? And admit once and for all collectively that the Aborigines are bloody useless, hopeless, dull bludgeons. If you think that, you're a dickhead! Yep. Now guys, I'm not here to point fingers, to defend one side or attack the other. I just want you to remind you all as Australians, we're all about giving the underdog a fair go. And the Indigenous in this country have had it rough since day dot. Oh, whatever, mate, they should just move on. It was like 200 years ago. Deal with it. If only they could deal with it. The amount of trauma and intergenerational damage that's been done, it's very hard to move on from. I know we can't change the past, but if we collectively acknowledge the pain, us Australians are about the fair go. Water supplies are still being cut off in communities. The stolen generations, up to 33% of the kids were taken away. Imagine that, your own little baby taken from you. You were corralled into missions and you weren't allowed to move on or off the mission without permission. You weren't allowed to have a job without permission, and you weren't allowed to get married. You were sexually abused, racially vilified. This still goes on today, ladies and gents. It's not about feeling guilty and you know, telling people to move on, it's not my fault. I understand that side of the coin, but I also understand now that 26th of January is the only date that people can use in the media to shine a light on the issue. When else do the Indigenous get mass media coverage? It's only when there's something bad or the lands are being taken away up north. So I'm just going to leave you with a little story from a John Pilger book. And this might open your eyes a little bit. They buried our babies with only their heads above the ground. All in a row they were. Then they had a test to see who could kick the babies' heads off the furthest. One man clubbed a baby's head off from horseback. Then they spent most of the day raping the women. Most of them were tortured to death by sticking sharp things like spears up their vaginas until they died. They tied the men's hands behind their backs. They cut off their penises and testicles and watched them run around screaming until they died. I lived because I was young and pretty, and one of them men tied me up until I escaped. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi.